has fallen right into your hands because he's getting all emotional about it. It looks like that loss really got to him.
I mean, the reality is this, man. You know, I'm all in that dude's head. You know, when have you seen him act like this? He'll do it with certain guys, and you know, I'm all in his head. And that doesn't mean everything, but I know that I'm in his head, period, you know. And like I've been saying, and I'm gonna keep saying, I learned more about this guy in the last 4 months than I have fighting him for 12 rounds.
Andre, do you think you have to knock him out in 12 rounds? Because business-wise, you can see where a rubber match, which, you know, a lot of people would benefit from that. Well, it's business. We got to talk about that. It's a reality.
Yeah, no, I'm just focused on fight number 2, you know. And obviously, man, I don't want it to go the distance, whether it's him quitting, throwing in the towel, or him getting clipped, and that's not out of the question.
Most you understand the question, but you understand why there would be some concern, you know.
About
going 12 rounds, having the decision go his way, so you get the rubber match. There's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you got to realize you're putting the cart before the horse. I can't talk rubber match. The fight hasn't even happened.
I understand.
Second
saying the concern that it may be out of your hands.
That's not even something I'm thinking about.
Okay, fair enough.
Have you lost or gained respect for KOVALEV? Most times after fighters fight, they gain respect for each other. It seems like there's more tension now.
Yeah, I lost some respect for the man. You know, it's one thing, you know, right after a fight, you feel some kind of way about the decision. That's understandable. But the excuse making for 4 months straight, bro, like that, I can't respect that. And it's not that he asked for my respect, but that's the reality of it.
Does it seem like his disrespect is a little more phony because he had high regard for you before? He had, you know, kinder words to say before the fight, respected you as a
It's hard to say. It's hard to say what he's thinking. You know, it's hard to say what he's thinking and how he feels. He respects me, but that's what's going to be his downfall, is there. You know, you put your mouth on my God, and I didn't address it today. You know, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I don't push my religion or my faith out on nobody, but you messed up.
So you took high offense to the photo he posted? It
ain't really the photo. It's just, you know, it just speaks to the arrogance. You know, pride comes before the fall, man. And you got to stay humble in this sport. You know, and obviously you believe in yourself, and there's a level of confidence, but it's arrogance. And that's what's going to cause him to walk into something, is the arrogance, the thought that it can't happen.
You know, Floyd's always said a fighter's never the same after they take a loss. Do you think
I can't say that.
KOVALEV?
I mean, yeah, I expect to see a better KOVALEV. I can't say that. I think it's how you lose. You know, you get destroyed, and you know, it's a lot of variables, so it's hard to say that. You know.
It seemed like you figured him out the second half of the fight. You plan to parlay what you were doing in the second half of the fight, or perhaps you're going to show him something new in this fight.
I mean, obviously we're going to work on some new things, and you know, I'm not getting caught up in what he's doing. You know, I'm the same guy that I was the first fight, and the same guy that I was my whole career. You know, I'm going to stand firm. The last thing I said before, you know, the week of the fight, before the fight, was I said, I'm not going to take no mess. And that meant outside the ring and inside the ring. And that's why I tell the young guys that I mentor, like, look, man, all that talk, and we get face to face and you're not saying nothing. So there's perception that you want it and your awards running it, but then there's reality. This is reality. And June 17th is reality.
Can you elaborate on cracking the code, which James Prince said?
I mean, you know, in championship fights, as you guys know, it's a lot of ebbs and flows, and you know, something may not be working. Plan B may not be working. Fortunately, our plan B worked, but he comes from a system, you know, a Soviet system. It's not going to change. He's going to make some adjustments, but he's not going to change who he is. Where he likes to throw his punches, where he's, you know, the most dangerous, things that he doesn't. He's not going to change that. That's ingrained in who he is.
Do you feel that now, you're the one that mentioned the Russia system, do you feel that over the course of time, the way that two nations are going at it head-to-head, do you think that this is going to play into maybe that type of fight as well?
I mean, it's hard to not make the correlation, you know, and you know, my manager, you know, he alluded to it the first time, and you know, he's alluding to it again. I think it's just a natural course of things, and but politically, man, I try to stay away from that. But I mean, definitely some correlation.
Let's talk about the knockdown. What you alluded to on the podium, that the knockdown actually helped you. How did it help you? Can you explain? And can you also talk about KOVALEV's power?
I mean, obviously, that's not what we want to be. So let me preface anything I say with that. Like, that's not what we want to be, and that's not where I feel like we should be. But in a weird way, and only a fighter will probably understand this, like to be able to go through that in the biggest moment and find a way, it took me to another level. And I think that, you know, I think he's got good, strong, sharp punches. but it was nothing I hadn't felt before.
Was there a moment in the fight where you felt it turning around after the knockdown? Was it the 4th round, 5th round, a specific moment, a specific punch?
Not necessarily. It was just kind of like a totality of things that were happening. You know, he's strong early. He's strong early, and he's gonna fade every time. He's not gonna change.
Talk about the body.
Hold on real quick, bro. He's got some bad habits outside the ring that he's had for a long time, and I'll never speak on it. That's his personal life, but that's stuff that I know about. He's been able to get away with certain things because of the power and the reputation. So he'll train, but are you training the way you're supposed to? Now he'll go and he'll probably train harder than he's ever trained, but I've trained like that my whole career. I've got 23 years of grinding to the maximum, and you may do it for the next 8-10 weeks, but is that enough? I don't think that pump is gonna get where it's supposed to get in the next 8 weeks.